And welcome, everybody, to the Best Xpress podcast. I'm your host, John, and as always, Chad.
Hello.
So, Chad, how's it going?
It goes. It's been, let's see. Looking outside the window, it's nice. It's gray. It's sleepable.
Yeah, exactly. I was out today, had to go to the pharmacist to pick up some medication. And of course, you know, Shoppers Drug Mart, the most expensive place on the planet to buy anything.
Yeah.
But at least they have the generic drug instead of the real one that I wanted.
Did you run into anybody using methadone?
Yes.
Of course.
It was like, I had to pick the freaking middle of the day, which was like noon. So I went in, and all of a sudden everybody was, oddly enough, there was nobody around, but grouped up in a corner. So I'm assuming, oh fuck, does that mean a meth patient came in? Yes, she did. So I'm assuming that she shoplifted half the store and was about to run off, and you know they had to stop her, and hopefully nobody got stabbed this time with a needle full of AIDS.
Yeah, that's fun when you actually have to hear stuff like that.
Yeah. The sad part is I was really hoping I was lying, and nope, unfortunately the bad news is she does have it now.
Ouch.
Yeah. And, well, so apparently you can have AIDS without actually having AIDS or the HIV virus, but a low count, apparently.
Well, you know, in a slightly related news, there's this douchebag of a, I can't really consider him a human being, but you heard about this venture capitalist ass clown that drove up prices of HIV drugs by like 3,000%.
No, but you know, I'm in my own corner of the world right now.
Yeah, well, apparently he did this to other drugs as well, and you know that's why you know drugs like AZT and all the other cocktails you would normally use if you're HIV positive or infected with AIDS. And when you really think about it, it's like, wow, what a fucked up thing to do, you dickbag. I hope you catch AIDS.
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not remotely surprised half the time. It's considering like right now, I think I mentioned before that my father had a blood clot in his eyes, and so the medication per injection is $1,600, right?
Yeah,
which is not covered by his medical because he has a limit of only $1,800 a year for medicine, right?
Yeah.
So it turns out that the last one time he went, he could see out of the eye, and the doctor said it's all clear. But he came back, and it's like, yeah, I can't see out of this eye, and so he has to go back on the medication, which is like, boom, another $1,600 every 4 months.
Ouch.
Yeah. So hopefully it works, or else, you know. But yeah, it's what happens when you have too much salt in your diet, or too much sugar, or high cholesterol, or whatever, right?
So it's pretty much slightly related to diabetes? No,
this is actually because the blood vessel bursts, so that's basically high salt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or a clot, whatever causes both, because it's kind of both. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not high in sugar. It's just, my mother's cooking is just high in salt.
I see.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the glorious news about the medication, because the worst part is I looked how much this thing costs in the States. Mm-hmm. It's about $9,000 a shot.
Ouch.
So up here, it's cheap.
Yeah, no, because we have regulations up here in Canada that prevents having medicine like this overinflated.
Yeah, because you heard how much if you go to a hospital and they give you 2 tablets of aspirin, you know how much that costs?
Too much.
It's $150.
Oh,
yeah, I know. It used to be $50 20 years ago, but now apparently it's somewhere between $100 to $200 depending on where you are, right?
Well, again, goes back to that story of that venture capitalist dickbag that I mentioned earlier. It's like, and he even states, even today, it's still, way too cheap.
It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, how much profit do you need to make? Well, what a dumb question. As much as you can, apparently.
Yeah. But, when you actually are looking to actually create a medicine that benefits humanity, and nearly wiping out something that could potentially be bad down the road, then
they wouldn't.
Well, yes and no. Think about it this way: malaria is almost gone.
Yes,
I would say in some parts of the world it's still there, but not quite. But malaria, in terms of North America in general, it's pretty much gone thanks to DDT, and other things. So, I can understand if you're looking at a business point of view that you want to make as much money off of the sick as possible. But let's think about it this way: if you're sick and you're rich, okay. If you're sick and you're poor, that's sort of like saying, well, I'm going to bleed you dry until you're dead.
Well, the thing is, hang on. When did the malaria medication was created?
Technically, it was not created.
Discovered?
It was, okay. What happened was DDT pretty much wiped it out. Literally.
How long? But when was that?
That was like back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Before they declared DDT, cancerous.
Okay.
So DDT was a form of pesticide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm using that as kind of like how, a lot of things could have been preventative, right?
Well, I was about to get to the point with nowadays, it's not, they don't want to cure the disease. They want you to live with it. Because let's look at it. Before, if you got AIDS, you're dead.
Yeah.
Now, they gotten to the point where, they can basically reduce the virus count so low that you can't give it to anybody else, right?
Yep.
Which the medication involved. I think right now, before it was like 22,000 a year, and now it's like probably like 40,000 a year for the medication.
No, like I said, the guy jacked up to about. If we're talking about U.S. dollars here,
we're talking about inflation.
Yeah,
like
inflation in U.S. dollars. Again, this is where the venture capitalist Jack Ball basically, he said he hiked it up about 300%, 3,000%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's basically the cocktail. It's like designed for you to live with it, not cure it, right?
So essentially, if you're only making say $40,000 a year, that's basically your whole life savings. Just dedicated to actually paying for all that.
If you live in the States and you have no medical, right?
Yeah.
In Canada, I think it's covered a good chunk of it, but I didn't talk to the lady who got stabbed, so I don't know how much she's looking to spend, right? But the scary part is they found traces of the virus.
Yeah.
So that was like, yay! Again, that's fucked up. And of course, shoppers doing jack shit about that.
Of course.
Yeah, because she was stabbed outside the building.
Oh, I hope she decides to sue her employer regardless.
I have no idea. We'll find out. I'll keep you guys posted on what happened, right? Mm-hmm. But on to better news or other news. Other than that, how's your week going?
Oh, it goes. Apparently, they decided to force me to take my my vacation time.
When are you taking it?
Now.
Oh, that's
I'm pretty much back at work next Friday.
Oh, you had the entire week off?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Did I run into you this Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, I was at work.
Huh. All right.
Yeah. You ran into me while I was at work, dude. So basically, I believe yesterday was the first day of my vacation.
But they are making you go back to work tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. The following.
Oh, okay.
Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, we'll be doing our podcast either like Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. All right. But okay. Yeah, I went to your place of work to pick up some cables so I can hook up my glorious collection of console gaming system that I don't play.
Yeah. How was all that set up?
It's other than wireless on your freaking PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, it's garbage. So I'm gonna need to get a switch there and try to figure out how to get a wire across the carpet.
Of course.
Yeah. But other than that, I realized I had a Dreamcast and no games.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I had to acquire some because apparently they're still making games for it.
Well, there are some people who are still holding on to actually the Dreamcast concept because it was one of the first consoles where it was potentially be able to do anything in regards to going online and whatnot. They even made a modem, a dial-up modem for it at one point.
It comes with it.
Really?
Yeah, it comes with a modem, and the Ethernet was the one you have to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking on how much these parts now cost. So the Ethernet is like $300.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. The brand new unopened sealed Dreamcast is like $1,200.
Of course.
Yeah. But it's like I was playing Street Fighter 3 Third Strike after 7 minutes of downloading, and it works great on a freaking 1080p screen.
Yeah.
You just have to sit far away so it looks better.
Of course.
But other than that, it was like, it was hilarious. It's like a 15-year-old system that still works.
Yep.
Way ahead of its time. It's just the fact that, Sega couldn't protect the system because all the rampant piracy on the thing.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to pirate the games.
Yeah,
on that system, which didn't really help their cause.
Yeah, so, and plus, one person decided to, we don't want to put DVD onto it, and we don't want to put RPGs onto it.
Yeah, that was also a big killer because, let's face it, you had the PlayStation was also out at the same time, and a lot of the RPG makers went straight to PlayStation, which, when you really think about it, it's like going to Walmart and say, I like to sell you my type of high definition discs. And Walmart's reply was, only if we only do all of your discs and you have your whole catalog. We'll do this and we'll ignore the other guy. That is how Blu-ray survived.
Yep. Way to go, Microsoft.
Well, it wasn't just Microsoft.
No, it was Microsoft. Was it HD DVD?
HD DVD was Toshiba's.
Toshiba, and they were in conjunction with Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I think they went to, it's neither Warner Brothers or Universal or something.
They were with Universal at the time.
Okay, I think, basically one company says, no, fuck you, we're going to go with Blu-ray then, and they destroyed the entire market.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was also the fact that they had exclusive right. Walmart carried them exclusively.
HD
as well.
DVD.
HD DVD pretty much went bye right after that.
Okay.
They called it quits. It was just like the old VHS versus Beta debate.
That was just basically function over quality. Because like when I heard it, basically it was one of the studios, the big one. It was neither Warner Brothers.
Sony was the one who was supporting the Betamax. Everybody else was doing was doing VHS at the time.
Yeah,
and
Sony learned from their mistake.
Oh yeah, they finally they decided to actually double down this time and do it properly.
Yeah, it's like everybody can do Blu-ray.
It took them what 20 years, more or more.
Well, granted, if you think about it, considering that Sony learned from their PlayStation 3 mistake.
Oh, of course,
right. And for whatever reason, Microsoft duplicated their Sony PlayStation 3 mistake.
Oh yeah. Here's how we share games. And I love that commercial where basically they're like, the president passed the game on to his friend.
It's like, here at Sony, here is how you trade games on the PS4. Here you go, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. And that completely destroyed Xbox from that point on. It's like, Xbox may be superior in some ways, but when it comes down to DRM and all the other stuff, this sucks.
Actually, to be totally honest, the PlayStation 4 compared to the Xbox, the PlayStation 4 is still better because all their games are 1080p, whereas the Xbox, it's not 1080p.
Yep, 720.
Yeah, none of them are 1080p.
Yeah,
and even friggin' with the 360. I'm not getting 1080p.
Oh, I never was getting 1080.
Not even on the menu screen.
Yeah.
It was like, why does it look like shit? The heck? So then I went to the resolution 720p. The fuck?
Yep.
And then, of course, after an hour of updating, so, I went out and bought the hard drive for the 360 because, 6 gigs is not enough to do anything. So I bought the 250 megabytes or gigabyte hard drive for the thing.
Yeah.
Which I think I told before. I got Future Shop to match Amazon, so I saved like $100 on this thing, right?
Yeah.
So now I find out that I can attach a 2 terabyte drive to the damn thing without having to buy their special hard drive.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yep.
Because off the bat, Sony, they says, yeah, just change the hard drive. It's fine. We'll do it. No problem. And just install. So PlayStation 4, 2 terabyte drive. PlayStation 3, 1 terabyte drive. 360, just your measly 250.
Yeah.
So it's like, God damn it. It's like, if it wasn't for the fact I bought you for $100, I would be pissed. Which, yeah, I went to Walmart. I bought the thing for $150. They gave me back $50. Right. So, which I sold the gift card to my friend for $50. So I bought the thing for essentially $100.
Okay.
Right. Then every single game ever since, I think I paid $5 or less for the game.
Oh, sounds about right.
Yeah. And I realized, holy shit, I have like freaking 50 games here that are not even opened.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there. I opened every single one because I stored away the box and put all the disc onto the volumes of CD wallets that I have collecting dust on my shelf. Which coincidentally, I threw away all my PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
But that's the video game story I have set up. So my next project for that is to put a switch in there and then figure out how to wire the thing without me tripping over the wire.
Fun times.
Yeah. But then, of course, in the process of cleaning out my junk, I have this huge pile of shit that I have to go through. That's still there.
Huge pile of shit.
Well, look at my sister's desk. Imagine sorting that out and putting it on the floor to organize. That's what happened. But yeah. Okay, let's switch gears. Any good wedding stories or wedding planning?
Other than the fact that I found out that the date we chose, or technically my parents chose, I think I may have mentioned this, is on the anniversary of one of my other friends.
Yep.
And in conflict with one of my other friends who's also getting married on that day.
Yeah. How's that resolving? We just have to go for it?
Well, not like we have any choice, because let's face it, according to lunar calendar, there's no other good days.
Shit. But did you decide on the restaurant yet?
Well, we decided on the restaurant. We just haven't picked out a church.
Okay. So I'm assuming you did make the reservations for that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, shit, how long did it
take? We put in an order for 10 tables.
Yeah, because I think for when my sister got married, we had to book the reservation 6 months in advance.
Yeah. And
we just ended up booking the entire restaurant. It was cheaper in that point. And of course...
Well, it appears cheaper.
No, it's literally cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, F you guys, this Sanctuary was closed right now. Go away. We're having and then of course, was it my parents also decided to go out and buy some liquor. It's, you've heard of Rennie Martin.
Yeah.
You know what XO is, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine 5 bottles per table times 20. And for you, those who don't know, this is Rennie Martin French Cognac XO. It's $200 a bottle.
Yeah.
From Calgary.
Because it's cheaper there.
Because we didn't have all that tax.
Yeah.
Right? So
two bills, very little tax. Actually, that's worth it. Even if you had to actually drive 10 hours for it.
Yeah. So somebody went and bought. So it's like, yeah, we need 20 times 5. Yeah, you did the math there, right?
Yeah.
So we still have a bunch of unopened bottles. Still.
I could take one home. Add that to my collection.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only thing that they they reserve, because I'm a Hennessy man myself, right? It's like as if there's a really difference between the two.
Well, just the branding and whatnot. Depends on I guess the formulation.
Yeah,
because let's face it, some people like different types of cognacs. There are some manufacturers of cognac that do blended and whatnot.
Actually, they're all blended.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and they have different variations of their blend.
Mm-hmm.
From how they do it depending on the year, and then basically blending it with other stuff. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like if I ever get a chance to actually learn how to be a distiller, I would love to actually do it myself.
Actually, yes. I would love to be a distiller. Of course, you can't make cognac. You have to make brandy, especially around here.
Yeah.
Right. Because cognac is from Cognac, France.
Exactly.
Anything else is brandy.
Is brandy, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, distiller, you have to... Actually, there's tons of pop-up distilleries around Vancouver, Burnaby. Yeah. But as far as I know, all their stuff is shit.
Yeah, well, again, it also depends on the type of... I guess the materials you're getting.
I'm not gonna lie. Half the stuff when I watch documentaries on winemaking, it's just bullshit. They're trying to shove down your throat. It's like this wine has a certain smell, reminds you of springtime. It's fucking alcohol. It's fermented grape juice.
Nobody cares.
It's like let's see, clang. Give me another one, thanks.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't need the backstory. As long as it doesn't burn down my throat, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of my friends has offered to, buy me a case of honey wine from Abbotsford as a wedding gift. So it's like, oh, that's interesting. So basically, a case we like roughly about 10 bottles. So basically, a bottle per table. That covers that part. That's nicely. But the thing is, my parents are like, honey wine. We don't know about this stuff. So I actually grabbed the bottle of honey wine from my buddy, and they tried it out, and they like it. They were like, okay, we can work with this.
Yeah, I got to twist your arm on it.
Yeah.
But at least it isn't better than half the stuff they serve. It's like, here, this is some kangaroo brand of red wine.
The thing is with wine, in terms of celebration and whatnot, let's face it, wine can be very, very inexpensive when you think about it, right? A 10 bottle, anybody can actually go to a liquor store, buy themselves a $10 bottle of wine, sit down for one night and drink whatever the fuck they want, as much of it. It could taste like shit. It could taste okay. It could taste like no different from whatever they bought. If it was like $200 or whatnot.
Yeah.
They're not going to care because, let's face it, it's alcohol. They'll drink it.
Yes, I guess. I remember the first time, like, I went with my sister to the Cirque show. Which, coincidentally, are you going?
Cirque du Soleil? No.
Yeah. Well, the show we went to, actually, it's the same show that's coming next year, right? So she decided to order some red wine. I'm thinking, red wine. It's from a box, right? So it's not like a bottle; it's from a box, right? And it says, whatever, it's fine. So then she got it, and she started drinking, and it's like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck is this? So then, of course, that was my cue. Pulled my phone and started recording this shit, because she got to finish it, because she paid $12 for it.
Oh my god, $12 for a glass of wine at Cirque du Soleil.
It's literally in a plastic cup.
In a plastic cup, coming out of a box.
So it's like, oh god, oh god.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you should have just spent. I should have just spent the $7 on the freaking 1 liter of Coke they had back there, right?
That box of wine will probably taste a lot more tastier if it, I don't know, aged another 10 years.
Yeah, when it becomes vinegar, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah. So to this day, it's the reason why I picked the hard alcohol. It's because it's generally tastes the same. It doesn't taste like feet.
Yeah,
not like I know what feet taste like, but I can imagine.
There is certain types of alcohol I do tend to like a little bit better than others.
Mhm.
Like, I tend to go for some, like, I do like my aged rum,
Mhm.
right? So anything above 8 years
Mhm.
is good to me, right? Anything around 8 years or under, it tastes like feet.
Actually, it kind of. I'm actually kind of surprised because like rum is made from cane sugar, right?
Yeah.
So generally, half the time the grapes they use for the wine are less. There's not enough sugar content for my taste, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I like the ice wine so much because it's literally pure sugar.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. But yeah, it's like they take the grapes, which I'm pretty sure they're not exactly overly picky about the type of grapes
Well,
they get.
there is a specific type of grape they use for ice wine, and they have to pick at a certain time of year.
Yeah, but ice wine basically they got it's a low harvest. So the process, if you guys don't know, they basically wait for the first frost to hit the grapes, and so they harvest it. So the grapes are still rock hard. They're full of ice, and then they cold press them to squeeze all the liquids out, so it's super concentrated in sugar.
Yeah.
Versus when wine is, they just pick the grapes, and half the time, if you ever tasted wine grapes, they're sour as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And they're not like the seedless grape you buy they have the thin skin and so forth. These are like thick skin grapes.
Yep.
And they're sour as shit. And sure, whatever, right?
Yeah, they're designed to be wine, made into wine.
Yeah.
The sugar content is very low in them, but they can be converted into alcohol.
Yeah, and especially when you have to add sugar, which is like really. But it is what it is. I'm not a wine connoisseur. In fact, I'm not even a beer connoisseur.
Oh, to be quite honest, beer tastes the same to me.
Yeah, and honestly, here's the thing: all the pro beer drinkers, friends of mine, right, hates Corona, right? And the only reason why I like Corona is so I put lemon in it. So it drowns out the taste of the beer.
I can imagine that. And I can attest to Corona tastes like, I guess you could say, piss.
Budweiser takes the cake on that.
Budweiser tastes like somebody dropped their dick in it and pissed.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. Like I do. Okay, there are times when I will enjoy beer.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have to taste a certain way that it would say, okay, it tastes not too bad. There have been occasions where basically, if I try it the first time,
mm-hmm.
it's fantastic. After the second and third time, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I
will admit, like, okay, this is the best beers I've had. Richard's Red, that's really good. Czech beer is really good. Strange enough, was it the Japanese beer? Start with an A.
Asahi.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's this Chinese beer I had, which actually, yeah, it is.
Okay,
right, that was good. And what is it? Heineken, off the tap, not from the bottle,
uh-huh.
or only from the can. That's actually pretty decent if you're like dying of thirst. And what was the other one I was thinking of? Guinness surprisingly works off the tap.
I tend to go for slightly lighter beers, like
mm-hmm.
Wheat beers, like a Hefeweizen.
Aren't all those wheat beers? Or hops, barley?
Some of them mostly barley based. Some of them are heavily hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
Hefeweizens are kind of it's interesting
mm-hmm.
combination. I'll enjoy that every once in a while, but I'm not going to drink it like all the time. It's not something I will have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have it if there's nothing else there to drink.
Yeah,
right.
I think I've already let's see, this year I probably had one beer, so that's usually my count for the year is one beer.
There was one beer that my friend introduced me, which was it's a milk stout.
Yes, those stouts I heard were interesting.
It was actually not too bad because I only had the one,
mm-hmm.
and after that I didn't care for it afterwards. But basically, it was milk, and basically it was done through a company that does nitrogen infused beers or something like that.
That's another gimmick.
Yeah. I did the Heineken once. It was okay. I did the $2 Canadian one time. It was okay.
Yeah.
Again, once I've had it once, it's fine.
Yeah.
After that, it ruins the experience for me.
Yeah, I think the worst beer I ever had in my entire life that was really, like, it literally smelled like piss was Grand Island beer.
Yeah. Some people don't like it. I never liked it.
My bottle smelled like a men's urinal.
Ugh.
Which is like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Can I get another one, please? No?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Anyways, back to the rum.
The rum.
It's all about the rum.
Did you hide the rum?
Yeah. I actually, a buddy of mine actually bought me a bottle of the Curzon, which is like a 12-year-old rum.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this was actually quite nice. Went back to, he actually originally bought me a bottle of Bacardi 8. I finished that one, but it took me a long time to finish that one because for some reason I just didn't quite agree with me. Then I got the Curzon, which actually, I finished off a lot quicker than I did with the Bacardi 8.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then I went back to the Bacardi 8 and I was like,
Here's the thing, people, right? If you ever see alcohol being advertised on TV, it's garbage.
Yeah.
And the worst thing, this is actually the really bad thing about the Hennessy XO and the Rennie Martin XO, right? You don't feel like you're drunk until you stand up and your face is on the floor. Because it's the thing about the XO is like they have like 40% 50-year-old cognac, right? And it doesn't burn when it goes down, which is kind of like the bad part because it's actually really smooth. And especially if you want to do something really insane and mix it with Coke, it's basically like this. It's basically a darker Coke, like Coke Black or whatever, right? But it's really easy to drink, which is the huge problem, right?
Yeah.
So, I've never gotten drunk in my entire life, and like not without trying, because the last time I had 10 shots of cognac, right?
Yeah.
And it only gave me a spinning headache, or like, hey, the room's spinning, but I wasn't, vomiting the next day. But the thing is, it was, it's like, that will put my dad on the floor.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, again, real easy to drink, which is the huge problem with me and the girly drinks. Right? It's like, this is delicious, right? Yeah.
It's, again, the shit alcohol really, really makes, ruins the experience for me. And let's face it, there was a reason why I actually ended up buying a bottle of 12-year-old Appleton. Mm-hmm. That one tastes almost as nice as the Curzon. Even though Appleton is not the better brand, right? Yeah. It is actually a lot more palatable than the Bacardi 8, personally. So, on my shelf, that Appleton 12, it's come up to being about half a bottle, whereas, that Bacardi 8 is still about 3/4 full. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's the reason why every Bacardi, you have to mix it with some shit.
Yeah. Like the regular Bacardi rum, like you buy off the shelf, right? Yeah, I usually mix that one because it's fine. I've taken shots of rum. I've regretted it. Yeah. But,
actually, that's what my dad does with the cognac. We take shots of that, right? Which, you're not supposed to do, right?
No, cognac is not supposed to be a shooting alcohol. It's supposed to be a sipping alcohol.
Yeah, especially when it's $200 a bottle, and it was like, how many shots? Like, it was that's $20 down the throat, right?
Exactly.
But then
probably
again,
more than that if you're at a restaurant or a bar.
It's about there actually. Because I think the last time I ordered an XO, which I don't think it was, because it hurts when it goes down.
Yeah,
I think I paid like $40 for it, but it was in Vegas and whatever, right?
Well, yeah, in the States, I think it's a little more because of different various liquor laws, and of course, it depends on the place where you're buying it from too.
Yeah, I think my biggest regret. I think I mentioned this before when we went down to Vegas. I wanted to go through the the duty free so I can pick up my cheap bottle of XO, which never happened because they always find the cheapest way to fuck me over, right?
Yeah.
Let's take the bus down to the States and take the take the plane there so we don't go through the duty free thing. Great.
Yeah.
Great. And I don't know. As soon as one of these days, I'm going to break down, just buy the damn thing. So it's up to $300 now.
Yeah.
Which is like awesome. But yeah, at least you got your alcohol covered on that part.
Yeah. Well, that's one of many.
One of many.
One of many. Well, that and I do like vodka.
I couldn't tell you what's a good vodka. Like, and I know I can tell you the Crystal Skull's okay.
Yeah. Personally, I think I've had I haven't had Stolies. Smirnoff is your typical,
yeah, that comes in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, which is slightly disappointing at times. I think I've had Belvedere, which is actually a little bit nicer.
Have you had Grey Goose?
I've had Grey Goose. I don't have Grey Goose at home, but I've had Grey Goose. It was okay. It was nothing to write about.
Yeah,
the worst one is whatever they serve on the plane.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
It tastes like shit, especially when you try to mix it with Even if you mix it, it still tastes like shit.
It's basically the. You know what? I don't really know. I saw how they made Nova Scotia vodka.
Yeah,
that stuff is amazing, right?
Yeah,
because they would actually grab a piece of glacier, melt that shit down, and then mix the alcohol with that, and something to do with the water and the filtering, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it makes it taste very very clean. It doesn't taste like nail polish remover.
Yeah,
right. But yeah, vodka's okay, but
I think there is a brand of vodka where basically they apply a little flavoring to it. I think the more common one I have at my place is the double espresso vodka.
Really?
It's actually not bad. It's nice.
Okay.
It's nice and sweet. Another one is the peanut butter and jelly.
Good God, man.
Well, we tried it out, and it's like, that's actually not bad. Me and my roommate, essentially. So it's like, you can actually taste the bread. But yeah, you can taste the jelly, you can taste the peanut butter too.
Okay. Yeah.
So it tastes like peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay. But my Ukrainian friend taught me how to drink vodka properly, right?
Of course.
It requires eating.
Yes, it does.
That's it. Here's the secret. You need bread to soak up the alcohol so you don't get drunk the next day, and make sure you get some salt in there, some salty fish, some this and that. So essentially, it's like you just have to eat with your alcohol and you don't get a hangover the next day.
Yeah. But that's a lot of salt.
Considering how much alcohol takes the salt out of you.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I've only done it like 3 times when I went to Penticton.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends got hammered and I was fine because, unlike him, I followed his rules, right? So I was like, hey, how's it going, guys? It's like, yeah, Penticton. Yeah, we went there, I think twice.
Well, Okanagan is the Okanagan area in general has some really nice wineries when you think about it. I think, God damn, it was like I was a kid back then, but I went over to Sumac Ridge and we actually did some wine tasting there.
At your age? At
my age, yes. My age, I think I was like 12 years old at the time.
Actually, it's fine. The French do it all the time.
Well, the French always have their kids drink alcohol. They don't drink a lot of it, but they have a little bit at the table.
Yeah, it's like, here's a glass. Go crazy.
Have water.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have water. Here's wine. There you go.
Yeah, in fact, don't drink the water.
The funny thing is that in Europe, wine is cheaper than water.
Yeah, because if you take tap water, you're dead.
Yeah. But, it's the same thing back in the Roman times, Oh, don't get him a glass of water. Get him this glass of wine here. He's come from a very, very long journey. Then again, the wine they used at the time tastes like ass, and what they did was they used fruit to sweeten it. Well, guess what they cooked the fruit in? A lead pan.
Yeah, fair enough.
So when you think about it, that whole civilization was dying from lead poisoning in general.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Oh, those are Romans. They didn't know any better.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of my coworker I worked when I was working for a print shop. He's from Greece, right? And his big problem was he has these greasy hands, and his fingerprints would get all over the film that we work on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a mechanical film stripper at the time, so I would make film to plate and printing and so forth.
Yeah.
But this guy, now, this is the life he lives. Like when he first got out of high school, he had to join the army for 2 years. So he's military, right?
Yep.
Everybody has to join the military. And then so he basically he goes to Canada to work, and then he goes home and works at his parents' villa, which is right beside a lake where it's sunny, and he would like I don't know, work around the house, paint this and stuff. So he showed me a picture of his goddamn place. It's fucking gorgeous, right?
Mm-hmm.
The type of vacation where you pay 20 grand to go to, and he does that for free, right? So he was showing his friends, and surprisingly, they're all girls, gorgeous too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he works there in the summer, and he works over here in the winter, where it's busy and so forth, right?
Yeah,
and yeah, and I can see why Greece is running out of money.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't see why, but besides the point.
Well, other stuff, debt, stupidity, that sort of thing. That's why the EU keeps on throwing money at them.
Yeah, because I wonder what happened if they go under.
Oh, they go under. The EU goes under.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you heard about the immigrants from what was it? From Iraq going to
Syria?
Europe?
You mean
Syria? Sorry.
The refugees?
Yeah.
Yeah. This all stemmed from, I don't know, Junior deciding to go into war with Iraq. And then basically, that pretty much gave birth to ISIS. And ISIS is going around terrorizing everybody, including people in Syria. So, yeah, great job, Bush Jr.
Awesome.
I applaud you for destabilizing the region and fucking it even more.
Yeah, it only took us 8 years to fuck up.
Yeah.
But strange enough, knowing next to nothing about the world news, right? I think the only country that's making an effort to take these people in is surprisingly Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hungary basically made a commercial, like, don't come here, go fuck yourself. Right?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Germany... Germany has always taken a very liberal stance when it comes down to
refugees
and stuff like that. Mostly because, I don't know, when you had a past, leader by the name of Adolf Hitler, you tend to be like, oh, no, come in. Yeah. We're not racist anymore. Come on in. Yeah. We don't mind. Yes, we still have neo-Nazis going around this place every once in a while, but don't worry about it. They're just, they're just like mice. They're pests.
Yeah. We'll put you to work. Well, like, actually, come to think about it, like, if my grandparents would have picked Germany, I'd be speaking German right now.
Da.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
The Otto.
Jesus Christ. Volkswagen, $18 billion they got to pay for each car they fuck up on?
Oh, fuck. And it was software related too.
Yeah. It's like, it wasn't like some type of glitch. It's like, no, somebody has to program this shit, right?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we'll just have our computer bullshit, the results.
It's like, diesel power. Yeah, I was like, my mother was telling me about, like some German company had to pay all these fines. Like, what the hell are you talking about, mother? So then I had to like look it up and say, oh my God, are you fucking serious? It's like, basically, what's that? How many fucking cars? They have to pay $37,000 per vehicle.
Yep.
That basically lies about these emissions that are outputting.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind though, it's not like Volkswagen's losing money over it.
$18 billion.
$18 billion is not a drop in a bucket for them.
I don't know, dude. That's still
they own a lot of the different companies.
Yeah, let's see. Porsche, Audi, Lamborghini.
Yep.
And so forth. But still, if Chrysler basically says, hey, let's take $18 billion out of your account, it's going to suck ass.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But you know what? Does that really hurt them in the long run? Not really.
To be honest, I'm really impressed on how they are doing it. It's like, yep, we fucked up. What are we going to do to fix this?
Well, first of all, I'm going to accept responsibility even though it was not my fault.
Yep.
And I'm going to resign.
Yep.
And we're going to get somebody else involved to take care of the mess, which we caused.
Yep. And,
you know, it's essentially saying, yeah, we fucked up. We're going to own up it and we're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, what company doesn't, you know, what company, you know, would do that? Not very many.
Apparently the Germans do it.
Well, apparently, you know, it's like, you know, they have very different ethics in terms of doing things. And let's face it, would an American company do that?
No.
Would a Canadian company do that? Not really.
No. Apparently Canadian company wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Hell, not even our government will do that.
It's like, no, the government will blame somebody else.
Exactly. You know, it's, when you think about it, you know, it's, you know, Germans, they're stepping up. Think about it.
It's hilarious. It was not hilarious. It's actually admirable. But yeah, it's like so far I'm reading that, yeah, so what we're going to do is basically replace this chip so it will admit proper admissions, and now your car will run like ass. So good job buying diesel.
Yeah, but then again, you know, they've actually refined the diesel engine for over the last 20 years.
Fair enough.
You know,
but in order for the car to be able to, I don't know, run properly, all of a sudden you're going to take somewhere between a 60 to 90% hit on your performance.
That would suck.
Yeah, because basically they said, oh yeah, the car is actually admitting, was it 400 times the amount of emission allowed? So just for them to go to the normal one, they'll have to basically,
cut the performance by
75%, right? Yeah. Which is like, so your car is going to go even slower, especially the people who bought the 3-cylinder Volkswagen Blue Motion thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I can walk faster than your car now. But yeah, it's all this shit basically reminds me there's no fucking Top Gear on TV anymore.
Well, there is Top Gear, just not the, Jeremy Clarkson Top Gear.
There's still no Top Gear at the moment for me to watch.
You know, I'm not too worried about it personally.
For now, this year, no. But I'm hoping next year there'll be something, because I do miss the auto shows.
Yeah.
Because, for now, we're going to take a break. Next segment, TV.
Yeah. Or we'll figure something else out.
All right.
Who knows?
Thanks. And we are back. So the fall has come upon us, and so it comes a new lineup of TV shows, which I don't give a rat's ass about.
Well, let's just say that there are some of the shows that I normally watch are coming back on, like, I don't know, Supernatural, which debuts in about, Wednesday. The Flash, I think, is about roughly the same time. Arrow, roughly around the same time. Doctor Who just went back on air, like we mentioned last week. 2 episodes in. Yeah. South Park's, 3 episodes in to this new season?
Yep.
What else? There's a couple new shows which kind of piqued my interest. There's only one that kind of I kind of sort of looked at. Don't know if I like it yet. It's called Quantico. It's on CTV. So I'll have to sit down and watch that one when I get a chance. What else? There's a couple that are getting back from their break. I think Suits is on their break.
I'm sorry, what?
Suits.
Yep.
Because normally they're like 15, 16 episodes or something like that total.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, the shows I've been watching, forever it's got canceled. Top Gear is nowhere to be seen this year. Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown finally came back.
Yeah, I think the first episode was Cuba.
And I only managed to watch half of it. And, as usual, it's... I don't know. This episode so far, it's kind of like not as entertaining. It basically means talk about, hey, we're finally here in Cuba and people are here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's, I guess if you've traveled to Cuba, it might be a little interesting. But to a guy like me who's never been to Cuba and don't know if he ever will, okay. Like, I know that there was an influx of Chinese people that went there. Back in the, what was it? The 50s?
Yeah. Basically, we didn't have, like us Canadians don't have what's the word I'm looking for? The restrictions towards going to Cuba. So it's not that big of a deal. Like we can go and get, Cuban cigars, which apparently this is really funny. When I first tried smoking my first cigar, every smoker in the house told me to stop. It's like, you guys smoke and you're telling me not to smoke a cigar. And you know how you smoke a cigar, right?
You only taste it, you don't actually inhale it.
Exactly, right? Which is by far safer than, what you guys are doing, which is freaking hilarious, right?
Yep.
Bunch of fucking hypocrites, right?
Yep.
So, anyways, the cigar was horrible because it was some cheap $1 cigar somebody gave me, right?
Yeah.
Bad dog. So yeah, my dog is joining us and he's acting really rambunctious right now.
Oh yeah, he's just tearing up that toy there.
Anyways, so yeah, that's Cuban cigars, right? But yeah, I think I remember he'd been to Cuba before and he was talking about the food and the cars because they have to fix all their cars because they don't exactly get imports there, right?
Yep.
Which, thanks to, I'm pretty sure once the trade opens up, all of the cars they have are running are going to get sold for a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Like imagine being a car connoisseur and going down to Cuba and you're like, wow, I haven't seen these in like years, or I have only seen this in pictures. Oh my God. And the minute that trade embargo gets lifted, no doubt all the collectors are going to head down to Cuba, buy up all those classic cars, and those Cubans are going to see money for the first time. That they're like, wow, I just made, this off of something I've had to repair for the last 2 decades.
50 years.
Last 2 decades, which my dad had to hand over to me because he's been repairing it for the last 3.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And, I don't see why not. But yeah, Cuba, I don't have a lot to say about it other than I know it's there. And they actually, part of the episode there where he was talking about is how they had to fake a Chinatown.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Oh yes, all the Chinese people left when the revolution hit. There's only about 17 Chinese that couldn't leave.
Yep. So,
and, it's funny that because I did remember watching a documentary made by a local person. His last name is Kwan.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he actually traced everybody whose last name was Kwan to different parts of the world, right? And he found some people that were kind of related to the family in Cuba.
Yeah.
Right? So anybody pure blood Chinese there, long gone.
Yep.
Right? But, there are people who are, descended from, from the family there and still in the family, quote unquote, association. And I'm not too sure about how anybody are aware of this, but when Chinese congregate, they back in the day they had create quote unquote associations based on the last name.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Kwan, you had Ma's, you had Wong's, you had these all associations back then, where you had people of the same last name, hanging out, right? So that was how stuff was done back in the day.
Yeah.
So he went to the Kwan Association in Cuba. and he had half Cuban, half Chinese, relatives that were sitting there like, hey, how's it going? We don't know Chinese, but hey, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, our Chinese language died out decades ago.
Well, it died decades ago because of, Fidel Castro pretty much like, yeah, you're not speaking Chinese. You can do the, you can have the whole Chinese, decor and whatnot, but, communism.
Yeah. Oh shit, I don't know if I should even say it. If only we did that with the French. I mean, no.
Well, if you did that with the French back in the day in Vietnam, who knows?
No, I'm referring to Quebec.
Oh. Oh, wait a minute. We're not going to go there.
No, we're not. But if the French forced us to stop speaking Chinese, they did. It's called Vietnamese. Because basically, they somehow magically merge French and Chinese together to make Vietnamese. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say because China once made Vietnam, I guess you could say, a colony.
Vietnam was a Chinese colony, then the French took over. So basically, our language is French characters.
Yeah.
In a form of Chinese.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's
concerned that there are different dialects of Chinese that are similar to Vietnamese.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, it's just basically, we, like I said, we have. I don't know why I say that. Our language, like Xiao.
Yeah,
that's Chinese, right?
Yeah,
and I can't think of any others. Well, we have a bunch of Chinese, words in our vocabulary. I just can't think of it because of the lack of sleep I've been getting.
Yeah,
but
again, the whole Chinese influence in the region. When you think about it, like China was one of the vast empires in the region to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Japanese have had some Chinese influence, especially in the characters and whatnot of their written language. Like some of it is Chinese based because, let's face it, the Japanese that are there now, present day, are not the indigenous people of Japan.
No,
they're mixed up Korean and Chinese when you think about it.
From what I heard, it was Chinese people that were banished from China and they had to move to the Rock.
More like abandoned.
Yeah.
When you think about it, Chinese wanted to find this elixir of immortality.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent off a bunch of people to actually look for it, and I guess these people somehow landed in Japan.
Yeah, and it says, there's no thing, and we go back, we'll die. So we'll just live here.
We'll just hang out, and we'll piss off the indigenous people, and we'll just I don't know. We'll grow. We'll essentially wipe them out by breed with them and whatnot, and then eventually they'll just die out.
Yeah, which is what the Spanish did to the Aztecs, and which the Americans did to the Indians.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah,
and same thing with the Canadians.
Yes.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Let's call a spade a spade.
It's like, we take over, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was way far from Cuba.
Oh, completely far from Cuba.
As always. So yeah, this week's episode of South Park was crap.
It was very, very unforgettable. But I think, okay, Sodo Sopa.
Mm-hmm.
South, downtown, South Park.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
When I think Sodo, I'm thinking Seattle. I'm thinking taking pot shots at like South Seattle downtown.
Well, I don't know.
Personally, that's my take on it. But then I could be wrong.
I'm just thinking of the Vancouver downtown east side where it's trendy now.
Yeah, it's they keep the low income area there still,
Yeah.
so that they don't disturb that area, even though it looks like shit still.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Was it that butcher shop is now gone?
Save on Meats.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
Save on Meats is still there. It's just not in the form of what it used to be.
Is it
Which
still
is a proper butcher shop? Now it's just it's a eatery.
Okay.
Right. So, but they still sell meat out of there. It just it is it's a trendy food joint now.
Of course. Oh yeah, I think I went to the I forgot where it's called. It's some grocery store down near that area. I had some gift certificates for this place. I can't remember.
Urban Fare?
Yes, actually, yes.
Urban Fare. It's a trendy food. If it's a trendy supermarket with the eatery inside, and those eaters aren't bad.
They are bad.
Well, when I went there, they weren't bad.
Okay.
But then it depends on which urban fair you went to, because let's face it, not all urban fairs are equal.
The one around the Terminus area, near Expo.
Yeah, vaguely. You know what? It depends on what time of day too. But then again, the last time I actually sat down and ate there was coming up on 7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I had $100 gift certificate to go there, which been sitting in my wallet for like 5 years.
Okay.
So then I decided, okay, let's go down there and use it because, we're never going to use this thing, right? So, holy shit. And I thought Shoppers Drug Mart was fucking expensive.
Yeah. Again, trendy doesn't necessarily mean cheap.
Yeah. So a box of cereal that would normally cost me $5 at, Safeway, right?
Yeah.
This place costs $15.
Yeah. And you wonder why, people buy stuff from trendy spots. It's not because they're cheap or anything like that. It's because it's trendy.
Yeah, because I
no doubt you can bet I bet you $5 hipsters shop there because it's trendy.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's clean, and on top of that, oh yes, I'm buying it from a place that actually it's
local
and environment friendly.
Yeah, the place was fucking dirty. The food was dirty.
Yeah,
like the vegetables still have dirt on it, but I think that's the thing.
If you're buying fresh vegetables, technically they should have a little bit of dirt on them, and when you get home, you're going to wash them anyways.
Yeah, and the other thing is, as for fresh, I know the difference between wilted and fresh.
Yeah, there's another story.
It's like, yeah, okay, this freaking pepper here, yeah, it's drying up. This is not fresh, right?
Yeah.
And this was on a Tuesday, so they should have gotten all deliveries. But at the end of it, it was basically when T&T is cleaner and fresher food, you got a problem.
T&T is always cleaner and fresher from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, like if you can actually go to the butcher there and get some really, really good stuff, like there's and then when you go to Urban Fare and they're not quite as nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, we decided to eat there, which was kind of like
depending. Okay, so you went to one near near the terminus area of
SkyTrain Station.
SkyTrain Station
Near the Expo.
There's one there?
Yeah.
Must have opened up recently?
It's basically, it was there for like 10 years. It's basically, there's a London Drugs near there, and there's also near the Best Buy.
Okay.
Camby, around there.
Oh, around there. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. So, you mean the one near? Okay, because the one I went to was the one in near the Brickyard, which is the at the very bottom of, was it Drake? Something like that. That location was actually pretty nice. So it was pretty clean. On top of that, and keep in mind though, 7 years ago, so it's been a long time. Basically, they had a nice eatery there, which served breakfast and whatnot. So me and a bunch of my buddies went down there for breakfast, and we're like,
where's Drake?
Downtown.
Okay, yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah. So just up along Pacific. So it's in that Yaletown area.
Yeah.
Essentially. So it was nice at the time, right? Don't know how it is now.
Yaletown generally is it's clean. Even when I was working there, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was relatively clean and trendy. Of course, granted, if I had enough money to buy a place there, I could have sold it for $2 million.
Yeah, today. Actually, much more than that. Depending on how big the place was and what part of town.
Actually, this kills me. I had my friend who bought his condominium down there.
Mm-hmm.
1 bedroom. It was 400 square feet. He bought it for $150,000.
Yeah.
Sold it for $500,000.
Yep.
So then I later heard that the person who bought it for him sold it for $1.5 million.
Oh,
3 years later.
Ouch. So he could have waited a little bit longer and could have sold it for 1.5.
Yeah. Basically, all he had to do was wait after the Olympics and sell it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, looking at it now, it's going for about $1.8 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And yeah, this is right beside the bridge too. The not the Cami Bridge, but the other bridge.
Burrard?
Yeah.
That's a nice area of town too. It's not the greatest area of town. It's nice. It's not.
Well, it's on the seawall. It's not the sea. It's on the seawall.
Yeah.
You just walk.
So it's walk. Yeah. So he's near that. He's quite near that urban fair that I used to eat at. So again, it's a trendy area. On top of that, it's not bad. Usually when you're near the bridge, it's kind of dingy, but
Yeah. But then again, it does remind me when the South Park episode was showing the lofts they have there. It's yeah, I want that. I want to live in that.
Soda sopa.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. But the ending of the show is oh look, Kenny went to work at the Shitty Walk just so he can buy his sister a doll.
Yeah.
And it's
Kenny, despite being, the most foul-mouthed character on the show,
mm-hmm.
even though you cannot hear it,
mm-hmm.
He does have pretty much a heart of gold.
Yeah, because he's the only one who's guaranteed to go into heaven.
Yeah, God, yeah, you get. Despite that,
yeah, but I don't know. It's I don't understand this episode. What are you trying to say, South Park? It's okay, you got your Whole Foods, which is what the fuck?
Yeah,
a Whole Foods. Have you been there?
I've been there a couple times. When it was before, there was one down in New West before they converted over to Save-On.
Yeah.
But I was okay, nothing special about this place. Because
I don't get it. It's you sell non-processed foods. So what the fuck is cereal then?
Yeah.
It's I'm sorry. Do you know what's?
Keep in mind though, there's a lot of stuff they have processed. They don't. It's a claim of you're buying a nice from a nice place, trendy again.
Yeah. Basically, the thing that got me is they had Kellogg's something Special K there.
Yeah.
2, they had was it Kraft macaroni and cheese?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a whole food.
Yep.
And what else is that was really messed up that they had there? Coke.
Yeah. They sell a lot of the stuff you would normally find in the supermarkets.
Which is
typically
bizarre. Yeah.
But at the same time, they'll carry a lot of stuff from the independent side. And then they have their own bakery. They have their own produce section. Okay. Which I find that their produce section, when I went to the New West location, was kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
I've seen better, I guess you could say, spreads at, in Richmond, where you go to the farm markets.
Yeah, well, Richmond is another story.
Yeah.
It's them Chinese, they don't buy anything that's not fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, okay, I don't know about your take on it, but organic fruits and vegetables, motherfucking, that's a load of bullshit right there.
That is a lot of bullshit.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. The pesticides they use that's organic will fucking kill you, right? It'll make you sick,
Yeah.
and so forth, because, it's natural, right? Versus the man-made stuff that you can drink, like Coke, right? It will probably make you sick, but it won't kill you, right? And also, the yield is smaller. No matter what people say, you get a smaller yield, right?
Yeah.
And so, and of course, I love when they did this little trick here. Which one tastes better, the organic one or the regular one, right? And basically, it's one piece of the fruit split in two. And 99% of the people says the organic tastes better of the banana.
Yes, and guess what? We were full of shit on that.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's a whole banana. We just cut it in half and basically said, this one's organic.
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing with wine. I bet you if you pour two glasses
Mm-hmm.
and you say this is a $200 wine
Mhm.
and the other one is the $20 bottle of wine, right? And
Can
you're going to say the $200 one tastes really, really good,
Mhm.
right? And then you look at it like, write your notes down, and then basically show them, yes, they're actually from the same bottle.
I
the
did
same $20 bottle.
I did that test before. I basically replied, yeah, they taste the same to me.
Yeah.
Which surprisingly, I did remember that was it the Coke challenge thing?
Yep.
And the Pepsi taste challenge. I love how they do this. They basically take a flat bottle of Coke and the fresh Pepsi, so you can tell the difference instantly which one tastes better.
Yeah. But they have slightly different formulation. You could taste the difference.
No.
Is,
I mean, they did it on purpose, as in one flat and one fresh.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do that. Let's face it.
They do.
You just had to actually, taste which one was different. And the Coke tend to taste a little bit more like orange. Pepsi tends to taste a little more closer to lemon.
Yeah.
If you know what you're tasting,
Mhm.
right? Then again, most people just don't really realize the difference in terms of tasting cola. There are some colas that will taste like prunes.
Yep.
You just have to actually sit down and just taste the bloody thing instead of just wolfing the fucking thing down.
Yeah. But, I digressed. It's basically, for me, I will buy anything that is resembly fresh. Did you know that apples are frozen? Did you know that?
Yes and no. I know some places will put them in a special freezer.
Yep.
Or a special fridge to maintain crispness or for transporting. Mostly for freezing, it's usually for transporting because they usually have to cross over state lines or something like that. And
also to
that's why when you bite into some apples, it tastes like it's like mush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly. This is fresh, the heck. I know they do that with lobster, which is kind of cruel, but then, basically during lobster season, they sell it for cheap, and they freeze them, and they sell it when it's off season for more money.
Yep.
But that's how all this stuff works. But for me, organic, it's just crap. If it's cheaper, then I'll buy it, but it's just regular for me.
Yeah.
However, I did try the organic banana and the real banana, and there's a difference in taste, slightly. But other than that, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But that was South Park.
Yes, that was South Park.
That was South Park.
Oh, God. Look at that deviation.
But Doctor Who was great.
Yes. The second episode just showed how messed up Missy is.
Yeah.
And how brilliant she can be. If she wanted to actually try to trick somebody, she could literally almost trick somebody, except for the Doctor. Yeah.
But yeah, it's finally they brought some really clever instance to the Doctor, right? Because the previous season where he first came out, nothing was smart. It was kind of eh. But this one around, they were really clever. Like, did you notice the gravity? It's perfect.
Yeah, essentially the idiosyncrasies of the Doctor. And let's face it, I think last year they tried to establish a few things with the new Doctor, seeing that how Capaldi's version of the Doctor is a little bit rough and unrefined.
Insane.
Now, yeah. But at some point later on in the series, it kind of got better, right? This year, this is his second year as the Doctor, so basically a little more refinement to it. And let's face it, battle with the axes. Well, I've got my axe, and he's playing his guitar on top of a tank, and you're thinking, "Wow, that's interesting."
That's clever.
But stuff like that, you kind of thinking, "Oh, okay, this, that, whatever." And then you get to Missy.
That's clever.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh yeah, he did this, he did that, and well, I did kind of a variation of that sort of thing."
Yeah.
But think about how much you had to think all that through that time to do something like that. So I kind of replicated it.
I did like the fact on episode 1, it says, "Oh, you think I've turned good, do ya?"
Oh yeah.
She proceeded to kill like 4 people.
Yeah. It's like, come on, I'm insane. Just had to remind you.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not good. I'm still evil.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is probably the best version of the Master so far.
Well, keep in mind, John Simon, he had a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, yeah, well, we're kind of bringing him back. There was a reason why he had the whole, drums in his head thing. Right? And it took him, literally 2 seasons?
To explain
of the Master to actually say, "Oh yeah, that's why."
But then again, the 2 different characters, and quite frankly, I like this version of the Master way better.
Well, Missy,
the mistress.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was by coincidence they made her Scottish.
They always been Scottish.
Not really. Not with the Master.
The Master? I'm going to be totally frank with you. I can't tell the difference between Scottish and English. I can, but I'm just going to say it anyways.
Just for sake of trolling, eh? Yeah.
It's like, where are you from? England? England. Where is that part? Did you catch Heroes?
No. I have not catch. I did not start watching Heroes Reborn, but I probably will sit down and watch it whenever I can.
Yeah, don't worry. There's only like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
They're 4 hours long, but
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it takes a lot of cues from the previous season of episodes. Of Heroes. I only watched the first season, and then, as usual, I got lost after that.
Personally, around season 3 when it started to lose me, and I guess that's when they had to shift certain things within the story arc.
I think
because at some point Siler stopped being the evil guy.
Yeah, it's like, all right. But it's kind of like the problem with the writers. Like, I heard Lost was really good for the first 3-4 seasons, and then it just went, what?
Personally, I couldn't sit through Lost, but that's just me. I actually started watching other shows, which was a little more, I guess, more interesting at the time. So Lost was one of those shows I could care less of.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it because, it's one of those ones where you had to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, of course, even for the people who were diehard Lost fans, it's like, so how did the show end? And the fact that they can't tell me how it ends tells me I shouldn't be watching the series.
Yeah.
So how to say that? Well,
what if I told you it was an allegory for purgatory?
It's like, yeah, it's like watching Lost, right?
Oops! Did I say too much right there?
What?
But in any event,
But yeah, for Heroes, it's pretty much it's kind of interesting. But knowing the fact that this is only a miniseries and there's only probably going to be 4 episodes,
I guess.
Yeah. 2 hours long, and so forth. Which I'm kind of thinking this is probably the better format to go through. then the 22 episode 1 hour each seasons.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty much like what the BBC is doing with their entire series, right? Everything is like
2 hours.
It's 6 hours or whatever it is, right?
6 hours total. Yeah.
And
Sherlock's into that format.
Yep.
Which is brilliant. I just wish, the actors had time in their schedule to make more episodes.
Yeah. So from what I hear, the next season of Sherlock is going to be 2018.
Yeah, which is going to suck. But you know what? It will be worth the wait. Unlike, Torchwood.
Oh my God.
We don't know when they're going to do another episode of Torchwood. But we're sitting on pins and needles for that one.
I'm hoping because, what's his name? He's aging, right?
Oh, he's clearly aging.
Yeah. But yeah, like, have you seen Merlin?
Yes, I actually have seen Merlin.
Is it good? Should I watch it?
If you like the lore of King Arthur and whatnot, it's a different take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before Merlin was supposed to be the primo wizard at the time,
mm-hmm.
He technically is. He just, it's sort of like the whole Superman concept.
Basically, what I'm trying to get is, it's like, is it the usual BBC stuff that you should be watching because it's entertaining, or because
it's entertaining?
Okay,
I'll give it that much because it's okay. Will writing is debatable because there are some episodes I don't really care for.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but as far as other stuff is concerned, it is nice. So, if you want to watch Merlin, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind though. They have right now where basically it's, magic is technically banned there.
Okay.
Right? So it's mostly because of Arthur's father's proclamation. So he's kind of sort of continuing on with it, where like you're kind of beating, your TV screen saying, why don't you fucking do this?
All right.
So yeah, it's kind of like one of those.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it kind of like, well, Arthur's enemies are kind of coming up after him. Maybe he should reinstate magic. No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, because, I was looking into this. Like, freaking BBC... The BBC episodes are freaking expensive as shit.
Yes.
The entire the entire one box set of Merlin's $100.
Yeah.
Gone down from $200.
Yeah. Well, anytime you actually want to buy something from the BBC, it's expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Except for Sherlock, it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, but when you were looking at episodes of the Doctor Who when it first comes out, it's like, really?
Half a season was $100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But then again, I kind of I missed my shot with the box set with the sonic screwdriver remote.
Yeah,
I think the box set was $200, and I'm thinking, oh man, that's still $200. Until I realized the screwdriver itself was $175.
Yeah, and it's a remote control too.
Yeah, it is.
It's not just a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah,
it's a remote control sonic screwdriver.
But my loss. But they replaced the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah. Well, you can still buy the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, but he didn't get a new one.
No.
With
the
sunglasses.
Sonic screwdriver is wearable technology.
It's like, the fuck? Really?
Well, it's his way of saying, well, I can go with either the usual sonic screwdriver or I can go for something different.
Yeah, the thing that's different is anybody can buy that.
Yes.
Versus, official merchandise. Did you miss all that?
Exactly. But, again, this is Stephen Moffat's idea of, well, I'm going to make him trendy.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck this shit.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
If these were like horn, the horn rimmed, sunglasses that, maybe that would be kind of cool when you think about it.
Moving on.
That kind of make it look unique.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, what stuff are you looking forward to right now?
Gotham's out now.
Mm-hmm.
So new episode of Gotham. New episodes of How to Get Away with Murder.
Mm-hmm.
There is, let's see, Flash is debuting next week. Supernatural is debuting next week.
I can't believe that's still on the air.
Yeah, well, me and my buddy were actually talking about that, and we're kind of saying, well, at some point they're going to have be running out of things to do. So they should have at least one episode where basically you have God, they find God.
Huh?
And then next season Satan comes out of the box.
Okay.
And then you have God and Satan actually do battle again, and that would end the season.
Yeah.
Or end the series.
Now, so they don't show who God is or the Satan is,
Nope.
right?
Well, no, Satan basically has, uses a meat puppet, just like the angels do. Like, every time you see quote-unquote angels or demons, they're using humans.
Uh-huh.
Right? So they're pretty much positioned about as humans. So they call them, meat puppets.
Ah, okay. Because I'm thinking God has to be a woman and the devil has to be male.
Well, the devil is male.
Mm-hmm.
Or technically an angel, a fallen angel, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. And
God's Alanis Morissette.
No.
Yes.
God will not be Alanis Morissette, because that's perpetuating the whole Jane, Silent Bob thing here. And let's face it, no, because yes. I don't want to. I don't want to hear. It's like rain on Supernatural. I don't want to hear start cracking her voice on Supernatural.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But how many seasons has it been over? Has it hit 10 yet?
It's going into season 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they managed to beat Smallville.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
And Small was off the air for about 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know, man. It's like, we'll have to see. Yeah. We'll have to see.
Well, Arrow, I'm looking forward to seeing. What was that spinoff again? Legends of Tomorrow. Another spinoff.
Yeah.
I want to see. So, it's going to be an interesting year for CW, personally. I tend to like it, but I wish they stacked all the DC stuff on CW rather than stacking it in other networks. Because let's face it, Constantine would have done well on CW versus doing well or trying to do well on NBC. Because let's face it, NBC fucks things over.
Yeah, Constantine.
Look at Sci-Fi. They own the Sci-Fi channel, and they fuck the Sci-Fi channel
by putting wrestling on it.
Well, not just that. They put wrestling on it. They put a lot of stupid reality TV shows on there. They cancel anything that's remotely relating to science fiction. There. And,
of course, they spawned Sharknado.
Well, they had to. Let's face it. That was the only thing that would save that fucking network.
Fuck. Yeah, because Constantine, I liked the series. I liked the actor. And it's canceled, obviously, because I liked it. Forever's fucking canceled. Fucking NBC, goddamn that channel. Yeah.
Well, at least ABC is kind of sticking to their guns on stuff like Once Upon a Time and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, that's another show that's back on the air for another season.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to actually sit down and watch an episode of that yet.
Yeah, same here. The problem is that when I have friends who watch it, and they basically says, yeah, first season was real dull. Got interesting near the end, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
They said season 2 was decent, and we'll have to see on season 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because let's see, all the shows I've been watching nowadays are those short runs on the net ones, like Waiting for Daredevil season 2.
Yep.
Mr. Robot was really good.
Yeah.
But it was predictable because I have an imagination, right? And
yeah.
Like, did you see Mr. Robot?
No.
Okay. Well, spoilers. They stole Fight Club.
Joy.
But it's clever, right? And so on. But yeah, it looks like basically all the good stuff is on paid cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a shame because, it's not worth it to actually watch regular cable anymore.
Actually, do you still have regular cable?
Oddly enough, I do, because it's part of my internet. It's part of my package with Shaw.
Ah, okay.
And at some point, I'm going to be like, do I really want this box anymore?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You just want internet.
Nowadays, yeah, because it's kind of like a waste.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for the fact that it's included with my package, I would have unplugged it because I recently started watching TV today. I was like, oh, nothing. General Hospital still on?
Yeah, go figure.
Jesus Christ. Considering how many of those things finally fold and are still on. Then, of course, you have Maury Povich, always good. Because
you're not the father.
You are the father.
Fuck.
Only reason why that show is still on the air for 20 seasons.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I said, okay, so Food Channel is currently not on special, and they have like the whatever the hell that thing is, another version of the Food Channel.
You know, if I find out that the Food Channel's been removed off my package, I'm gonna just fucking turn it over to Shaw and say, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
because you know, Food Channel is supposed to be a part of my package right now.
Yeah,
and if it's gone, because I haven't actually looked recently, because I haven't turned on the TV.
Yeah, unfortunately, Food Channel is now consist of food competitions.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. Well, it's food competitions prime time, and then during the day it's all food shows.
I couldn't tell you. It's like basically, I'm not gonna lie, the Canadian food stuff is boring as hell.
Yeah, it is.
Because
it's disappointing.
Michael Smith is gone.
Yeah,
and what's his name? The guy who won Iron Chef used to run a bunch of restaurants. Rob Feeney. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
And now they're playing reruns of, I don't know what the hell they're playing.
You know the guy who had they showed The Maine?
Yep.
Okay. He opened up the American Cheesesteak Factory in Vancouver. Sadly, he passed away a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. I found this out recently. I'm like, what the fuck? So it turns out that he committed suicide. So... And his show was pretty cool to watch too at the time, The Maine. So, you know, it's sort of like too bad his show got off the air. Mm-hmm. You know, too bad he decided to actually pull the trigger, so to speak. Sorry, that's insensitive. That's how he died. But you know, it's like wow, it's all the good Canadian shows are gone.
Yeah, because
kind of sucks.
Because they have the rerun of Cook Like a Chef or whatever, which is dull.
Yeah,
and then we have the oh my god, what's that freaking blonde guy with the goatee? Diners,
Drive-In and Dives. Yeah, Guy Fieri. He's a douche. He's a bit of a douche.
It's like, okay.
It's entertaining, but he's still a bit of a douche.
It's like, okay, you have your own cooking show, and apparently you can't cook.
Yeah, I found his cooking show to be quite boring.
His cooking show was boring until you found out that he has the cooking skill of Rachel Ray.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And even Rachel Ray kicks him under the table.
Sure. Why not?
Well, that's the thing. Rachel Ray has actually cooked a lot of people under the table, which is kind of weird, considering that a lot of them are actually trained chefs.
The thing is, like, that's actually one of the things I'm kind of curious about, because I went to Vegas. I went to 2 super expensive restaurants, and I thought they were okay.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what's his name? Oh fuck, I can't remember. The redhead was on Iron Chef, Bobby Flay, right?
Yeah.
Like, his restaurant was garbage. Like, I had scallop that basically, what's the word I should have put? It tasted like somebody put fish sauce on it.
Yeah.
Which they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was bad. And then, of course, I went to, never mind, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but he's supposed to be the best chef in America. And his stuff was just okay. But then it's just his recipe, not him cooking, right? So I don't know. So it's neither because, I'm eating way too much Vietnamese cooking or so forth, but I'm so far not impressed by all the dine-out restaurants.
Yeah.
But anyways, it is running late. It's time for us to go, and that's been another week of the Best Xpress podcast. Thank you all for listening.
Have a good night all.
Take care.